My girlfriend revealed our entire relationship was only a game to her. So I made my ultimate move and left her ruined. Hey Reddit, before we dive in, just a quick note. We're working super hard to bring you the best stories out there. So hit that subscribe button and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers soon. Let's start the story. I never thought I'd be the protagonist in my own revenge story, but here we are. I'm 29, grew up in a coastal suburb outside of Westbrook City. Nothing extraordinary about my childhood. My father ran a plumbing business. My mother taught part-time at the elementary school, and we were always a practical, down-to-earth family. We weren't wealthy, but we had enough, and my parents instilled in me that integrity and loyalty matter more than material possessions. After community college, I landed a steady job at a logistics company. Not glamorous, but it covered my bills while I figured out my next steps. It was during this limbo period that my story truly begins. 3 years ago, I met someone at a local brewery's trivia night. My roommate Jake insisted I needed to get out more, so I reluctantly agreed. That's where I spotted her across the room, confidently answering questions while her team cheered. After my team's embarrassing defeat, she approached me with a playful smirk, teasing me about our loss. We exchanged numbers, and suddenly I had something to look forward to beyond my predictable routine. What followed felt like something from a movie. Late-night conversations, impromptu lunch dates during my breaks, random adventures around town. I opened up about my family, my job frustrations, and my uncertainty about the future. She shared her ambitions too, talking about opening her own photography studio one day. I admired her drive and confidence, qualities I sometimes felt I lacked. My parents met her a few months in and gave their approval. "You've found someone special," my mother would say, and I believed it completely. Looking back, there were warning signs I chose to ignore. She was unusually protective of her phone, always stepping away to take calls. Her friends would exchange knowing glances whenever I was around, sometimes whispering comments that stopped when I approached. Jake mentioned once, "Something seems off about her friends. They give me weird vibes." But I dismissed his concerns. About a year ago, things began to shift more noticeably. She became increasingly secretive and defensive. When I gently questioned her, she'd snap back, making me feel paranoid for asking. She started making pointed comments about her friends dating successful entrepreneurs and executives, comparing our modest lifestyle to their extravagance. When I asked if she was unhappy with what I could provide, she'd backpedal, insisting I was being oversensitive. Then came the pressure about taking things to the next level. She'd drop hints about engagement rings or luxury vacations, sighing dramatically when I explained my financial limitations. "I'm not getting any younger," she'd remind me, as if my moderate income was somehow wasting her time. The breaking point came during my father's retirement celebration last month. I'd organized a family gathering at my parents' place. Nothing fancy, just good food and family memories. She arrived overdressed and spent the entire evening glued to her phone, barely acknowledging my relatives. During the toast to my father's career, she excused herself for a lengthy phone call, returning only after we'd finished the important moments. My mother, usually reserved with her opinions about my relationships, pulled me aside. "Honey, does she always treat family gatherings like an inconvenience?" The comment stung because deep down, I knew she was right. That night, I tried to have a calm conversation about her behavior. "Is something bothering you? You seemed distracted all evening." She dismissed my concerns and turned it back on me, claiming my family gatherings were painfully boring, and she was just trying to endure them. The next day, she texted asking to meet. "We need to talk," she wrote. I assumed she was going to end things, and part of me felt relieved. What she revealed was far worse than a simple breakup. She confessed that our entire relationship began as a bet. Her friends had challenged her to see if she could make an average guy fall completely in love with her within 3 months. I was chosen because I seemed earnest and uncomplicated. In other words, an easy target. What was supposed to be a brief game extended because I was surprisingly attentive, and she thought I might eventually offer financial stability or status that never materialized. "I didn't think you'd get so attached," she said with a shrug, as if we were discussing a minor miscommunication rather than 3 years of deception. She even complained that she lost money because I hadn't proposed within the time frame her friends had wagered on. I sat there, frozen, as 3 years of memories recalibrated in my mind. Every intimate conversation, every family gathering, every moment I thought we were building something real, all part of an elaborate joke at my expense. When I asked her to leave, she became indignant, demanding to collect her belongings and continue the conversation. I insisted she go immediately, which prompted a barrage of insults about my childish reaction and how I should grow up. When she finally left, slamming the door behind her, I felt simultaneously devastated and liberated. The following days passed in a blur. My phone lit up with her messages, alternating between accusations and half-hearted apologies, but I ignored them all. Jake brought over drinks and listened as I processed what happened. He admitted he'd heard rumors about her friend group's manipulative games but never had concrete evidence. After a week of reflection, I made a decision. I wouldn't let her control the narrative or leave me looking like a fool. When Jake mentioned her group was celebrating at Skyline Lounge downtown, I knew what I needed to do. I arrived with Jake and another friend for support. When she saw me across the crowded room, her expression shifted from shock to anger. I approached her circle directly, ignoring the hostile stares from her friends. "Would you like to tell everyone how our relationship was based on a bet, or should I?" I asked loudly enough for those nearby to hear. She tried to laugh it off, portraying me as a bitter ex causing a scene. That's when I played the audio recording from our previous conversation, legal in our state, where she clearly admitted the relationship had been a game from the start. Her admission echoed through the stunned silence of her social circle. Some friends backed away, visibly uncomfortable with this revelation. She lunged toward my phone, screaming at me to turn it off. Security approached, and I calmly stated I was leaving. Before walking out, I addressed her one last time. "Remember this feeling the next time you decide to gamble with someone's emotions." The aftermath was predictable. Threatening texts about defamation suits and false accusations. After consulting with a lawyer friend of my father's, I sent one final message warning her that I had documented everything and would pursue legal action if her harassment continued. Then I blocked her completely. Through mutual acquaintances, I learned she'd lost significant social standing. Even her closest friends became wary, realizing that someone capable of such calculated deception might eventually turn on them too. These past few months have been about rebuilding. I've reconnected with old friends, explored new career opportunities, and rediscovered parts of myself that had been overshadowed by our relationship. Sometimes I still feel the sting of humiliation thinking about how long I was deceived, but mostly I'm grateful for the clarity and strength that emerged from this experience. If you're reading this and recognizing similar patterns in your own relationship, trust your instincts. Don't ignore red flags or let anyone make you feel inadequate. Stand your ground against manipulation, and remember that exposing the truth isn't revenge, it's justice. I may have lost 3 years, but I've gained something more valuable: the courage to demand authenticity in all my relationships moving forward.